What's going on, y'all? Chuck Nunface here. Going to talk a little bit about this knife. Picked it up recently. This is from Bark River Knives, and this is the Aurora Scandi in CPM 3V. So from the car again. This is kind of when I've been having time to shoot quick videos here. I happen to be in my car, so we're doing it from the car again. In any case, picked up this knife recently and was really excited about getting it. Kind of had watched a couple of videos on the Aurora, just kind of back it up a little bit. This is my second Bark River. The first one was the Cub, also in 3V. And, I was kind of excited to try and get another one here. So I ended up picking up the Aurora Scandi after watching a couple of videos. Primarily the one that sold me on it was the Dutch Bushcraft Knives channel and their review on this knife here. And so I was like, oh yeah, I want that. That's cool. I mean, I do like the Scandi grind quite a bit. I think it's really effective. It's not the great slicer, but it's really good for, like, you get a nice aggressive cut into, for carving and things like that. You get a nice aggressive cut into it. And so I was really happy to pick this up. Got it home, was kind of messing around with it a little bit and just kind of feeling around the edge, and noticed that it wasn't quite where I wanted it to be. And so I started touching it up, and I noticed I was getting some inconsistencies with the edge. And at that point right there, I should have inspected it a lot more closely. So shame on me for not doing that, but I should have taken a lot closer look instead of really diving into, this rabbit hole of a repair process that I got into over the weekend with getting this edge to where I wanted it to be. So, this isn't a Bark River bashing video or anything like that, but, I have heard some stories about their quality control kind of going down, over the last couple of years. And, a lot of guys have reached out to me and they said, yeah, I've been about 50-50, or, I haven't had a bad one, or, I'm pretty much, there's always something I have to work on with it. So had I kind of stopped what I was doing and taken a closer look at things, I probably would have sent this knife back. But I kind of got to a point where I started doing a lot of diagnosis and repair on it and everything else. And I feel like I kind of took it to a point where it was no longer returnable. And so, here's kind of the end result, what I got, what I ended up getting. My final kind of fix was to go to my KME for the second time on this knife and use my convexing rod and just do a secondary convex, on this primary convex right here. So it's pretty clear where the line is right there where I put my edge on it. But in doing so, it was able to kind of keep with that convex curve, because that's the way a convex knife is, just so you have your typical V edge right there. And then you've got, your hollow grind, which is going to be, concave, so to speak, if you're looking at that. And you've got your convex, where you're going to have it more of like an Appleseed profile. That's another word for it as well. So, you've got those different types of blade profiles. So this is going to be a convex blade profile, or grind right there. So Scandivex, as it's been nicknamed. And so it does continue with that. I really should have taken this knife. The grind had some problems. The biggest one being is the actual edge itself wasn't within the center line of the knife. It was favoring one side. So if I'm looking at it this way, it's favoring the right side. If I'm holding it this way, it would be favoring the left side. And so I should have stopped what I was doing and done a closer inspection of my knife and realized that, this was a bigger problem and it should have gone back to Bark River or DLT and let them handle it with Bark River, or just contact Bark River directly and just ask for a regrind or, a different knife or something like that. But in any case, here we are. I tried fixing it on my rudimentary setup with bench stones. The problem is with a correction or, a job like this, in order to correct what needed to be corrected, I'm not equipped with the right bench stones and the number of bench stones that I would need. I have a 400 grit Naniwa stone, but it's only like a commercial grade. It's not really a good premium grade where you can really kind of dig in and get the feedback that you need. It's kind of gummy. It doesn't really have, a lot of great qualities within that stone. And then I've also got an 800 grit king stone, which is an awesome stone, great all around utility stone where you can do small jobs and put new edges on knives, and you can do quick repairs on small nicks with that stone and have a lot of success, and even get a nice finish on it as well, before going to strops. But for reprofiling and everything else, it's not a good choice. It's a great stone, but it's an 800 grit, and it's not the right choice for reprofiling. And so, and it's also a lack of experience on my part. I'm not a seasoned hand sharpener, freehand sharpener. I'm used to using a guided system. I have a KME system, and that's what I'm used to using. And that's also not the appropriate system for when you need to do like regrinding. I kind of wish I had like a Ken Onion workshop sharp or something like that, or a simple belt grinder where I could have had some slack in it and just tried grinding out, and making the bevels even. I mean, it's going to be hard to tell on camera, but it's higher on one side than it is on the other, the point. And it's also thicker over here than it is on this side, all along the going into the tip and that transition and everything else. So it had some issues. I ended up taking off a lot of steel. There used to be, more of a sharpening choil there. Now it's just a little nick right there on the edge. That's pretty much all you get as far as a sharpening choil now. So that's kind of got away. And the finish on the blade itself wasn't really where I wanted it to be, on the grind. I mean, I did try several different methods. I tried using the sandpaper method where I had taken a board and I had affixed 2 pieces of denim to it. And then I did, like a 300 grit sandpaper, then a 400, and then went to like a 6 or an 800 or wherever I had on hand. And I kind of did that, but I wasn't getting a very sharp edge. My final fix was kind of going back to the KME and using my, my convex rod and just putting that on, like I mentioned earlier. And I'm not really happy with the way it looks, but it is sharp all the way around now. And the bevel's fairly even, at least the cutting edge is fairly even. So I'm happy about that. So, just kind of a little contrast. I know that, maybe we're comparing apples and oranges, but this is a Castrom number 10 Swedish forest knife, and as you can see, they're different, but they're not so different that you would say they can't be compared to one another. Now the processes are different on this knife as well. I don't know the manufacturing process with Castrom, but there's probably more machine work done in this. I mean, maybe even the Scandi grind itself is put in by a machine, because it is a true flat Scandi grind, whereas this one is convex. And I know these blades are hand ground and they're hand finished and everything else. So there's going to be a component to human error. I don't expect perfection. Let me just say that too. I don't expect perfection from a knife in any price range, really, from a simple little like a little Kershaw or something like that, all the way to a Medford or a Shirogorov or anything like that. I don't expect things to be absolutely perfect. I know there is an element of variability, there's an element of human error. I know that they have more experienced guys and less experienced guys working on the grinders. I would maybe suggest, if anybody from Bark River ever sees this, is that maybe they could have a little bit more supervision for the less experienced guys, so things like this don't get through, and go out to distributors. Because I know Bark River cranks out a lot of knives. They're a big company. They're a small, big company. They put out a lot of work, and they're putting knives out there to retailers like Knife Ship Free and DLT and others. And they're doing it on a regular basis. But it is disappointing when, you get your knife home and, it's not the way you want. And then, I took it upon myself to probably do more than I should have. It should have just gone back to Bark River. It didn't, and this knife right here, it's going to be more expensive than this knife right here. Like I say, apples to oranges, maybe different processes and everything else, but this thing is dang near perfect. Super sharp, razor freaking sharp, laser beam on that grind, on that Scandi, and it's basically half the price that this one is, so kind of take that however you want to take it. I appreciate you checking out the video. I definitely want to get more Bark River knives. I really like them. I like what they do. I like I like the knives and the designs that they're putting out and everything else. It's not going to be my last one, but, you know, I hope that, you know, if anybody from Bark River does see this, that maybe they could just take a little bit more time either with QC or with, you know, making sure that their less experienced guys are getting some supervision or maybe a little more training and getting their grinds done a little bit tighter on a more consistent basis. So in any case, that's going to do it for me today. Thanks for checking it out. I certainly appreciate it. If you haven't done so already, give me a follow on Instagram at Chuck_Nunface. Go ahead and click that right in the corner, maybe right there. Go ahead and click that little button and subscribe to the channel. I certainly appreciate that. If you could do that for me, that would mean a whole lot. And listen, just stay tuned. I'll get some more content out. And let me know what you think in the comments. What has your experience been with Bark River knives? Or has it been good? Has it been positive? Has it been mixed? And if you did send something in for warranty work, what was the outcome? What was the solution? Let me know about that as well. But yeah, appreciate you checking out, y'all. Peace.